ask you as you leave to fight. Since I was born, have you ever left my side? As you walk, you'll see my footsteps by your strides. I'm gonna scream aloud as your pure neck is hacked away. I'm gonna see you in my dreams, see you every day. I'm gonna think of you on that road every step of the way. I'm gonna see you in my dreams, see you every day.
Your tears tell about your broken heart. Your bowing head reveals your every scar. I know that you face tribulation so hard, but the time has come for us to be apart. Gonna watch you walk as the sound of your steps fade away. Gonna see you in my dreams, see you every day.
It is said that when Sayyidah Zainab set off from Karbala towards Kufa, she turned around towards the battlefield to look back at the battlefield. Why? Because during the time she departed from Imam al-Hussein, she used these words. She says, if there's no one to prepare you for the war, you know Zainab would give her life for yours. Without any words, I'll kneel down on the floor, and with these hands I'll help you climb your horse. I'm gonna help you now, I'm gonna help you now. Who will help me after today? I'm gonna see you in my dreams, see you every day.
These are the final words Sayyidah Zainab says to her brother. As you walk away, it breaks my heart to see every few steps you turn to look at me. You are strong enough to handle any grief, but you're broken to leave your family. So what does Sayyidah Zainab say? I'm gonna smile at you, I'm gonna smile at you every time you turn to look my way. I'm gonna see you in my dreams, see you every day.
I look for a sign while standing on a mount that you're safe with no enemies around. But my heart shakes and I fall to the ground, watching you lay and making not a sound. I'm gonna run to you to protect you on the burning place. I'm gonna see you in my dreams, see you every day.
As I walk past, your body tied in chains, I make this vow to you, oh my Hussein. I will stay strong and bear through any pains. I may not live, but your name will remain. I'm gonna make you proud as I'm dragged away from where you lay. I'm gonna see you in my dreams, see you every day.
It is said that when Sayyidah Zainab returned back to Karbala on the day of Arba'een, she came up to the graves of her brother in such an ajib way, in such an unconventional way. It is said that when Sayyidah Zainab comes up to the grave of Imam al-Hussein, she doesn't just walk up to the grave of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. She comes on her hands and knees, crawling. No one knows the real reason why she comes, but it is as if she's coming begging for forgiveness. Why? This next verse will tell you. You have left me with a gift I must return, a little princess, for years who you had yearned. She will be slapped, her body will be burned, she will die in pain, calling you at every turn. I'm gonna lay her slowly into a dark and empty grave. I'm gonna see you in my dreams, see you every day, see you every day. It is said that when Mawla Hussein departs the tents towards the battlefield, before proceeding, I want my brothers and my sisters, just close your eyes for a minute and take your minds back to Karbala. It is said that our bodies are confined to 3 dimensions, but our soul is infinite. It can transverse, it can transect time and space. I want you to take your soul back to Karbala on that day. It's 61 AH, it's the day of Ashura. You can feel the heat of Karbala, the burning sun upon your heads. You can feel the breeze of Karbala upon your cheeks, between your toes. You can feel the sands of Karbala. And your master Hussein leaves the tents towards the battlefield. It is said that in 3 days of thirst, this Hussein fought a battle that was like no other. This is the Hussein that had lifted and carried back body after body after body. His face was covered with the blood of Ali al-Asghar. And this Hussein comes towards the battlefield where he faces 30,000 of the enemies. It is said that Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam's battle was so intense that he slain and he killed 1,950 of the enemies. The time of Asr approaches. In Ziyarat al-Nahiya, Imam Zamana alayhi salam depicts the scene so clearly. He says, as the time of Asr approached, the arrows were fired in such a way that it is as if there was an eclipse in the sky. It is said those archers who fired the arrows aimed straight for the chest of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. It is said those who had spears in their hands then ran forward and embedded their spears into the chest of Hussein. Those who had nothing to throw at Hussein picked up the sand of Karbala and threw it into his face. It is said that my master starts swaying on his horse, and as he falls onto the ground of Karbala, His body is suspended upon a bed of arrows. Those of you who know the geography of Karbala know that the place where Imam al-Hussein fell from the horse and the place where he was martyred is a long distance away. The reason for this is that when Imam al-Hussein falls onto the ground, Shimr steps forward. And as Shimr steps forward, he grabs Imam al-Hussein by the beard and he pulls him towards him. He then drags Imam al-Hussein across the plains of Karbala by his beard up to that place where he had his final martyrdom. It is said that then the enemy start encircling Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam as if a predator is encircling his prey. And this is where Sayyidah Zainab comes in. Because in Ziyad Danahi, Imam Zamana says that Imam al-Hussein was laying upon the ground of Karbala, out of the corner of his eye, Zainab caught his attention. It is said that Zainab was standing on Tilla Zainabiyya and Imam al-Hussein was watching her. And Zainab was watching him. Imam Hussein started shedding tears and Zainab was shedding tears. It is said when he saw Zainab, this is the son of Ali ibn Abi Talib, a lion in his own right. Imam al-Hussein starts getting up, putting power through his hands, and as he gets up, he just about manages to get onto his knees. Someone steps forward and kicks him back to the ground. He just about steps forward onto his knees again. Someone hits him over the head with a spear. It is said then Shimr steps forward. Zainab is watching. A few steps away, Zainab stands there and looks on at Hussein upon arrows. Hussein lays there, he cries and says, turn your face away, you won't be able to bear my pain. 12 stripes these are blunted strikes to the neck of Hussein. 12 strikes to the neck of Hussein as his soul departs. He looks up and says, oh Allah, I gave you everything that I had. If I had to do it again. Hussein looks in to his killer's eyes as he sits on his chest with the blunted knife. He takes the knife to the throat of Hussein. He hacks away at his neck again and again. He pulls Hussein by his bloody beard. With the blood of Hussein, his face is smeared. He laughs and says that your end is near. But Hussein says, I have never feared. 12 stripes to the neck of Hussein as his As his soul departs, he looks up and says, oh Allah, I gave you everything that I had. If I had to, I'd do it again. 12 strikes. A voice is heard around these plains. It is said that Imam Hussein lay there with no helper on the grounds over the plains of Karbala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent down the angels. It is said all the angels came down, they went straight back up and they said to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we can't bear to see this. The prophets one by one came down and they all returned back. It is said that the seal of the prophets, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, came down. He had to go back up. Imam Ali, Imam Hassan alayhi salam, none of them could see this sight. But it is said in his final moments, Imam al-Hussein rested on the laps of Sayyidah Fatima. And in narrations that even as Shimr was going to take the dagger to the neck of Imam al-Hussein, he could hear a voice in his ear saying, what has my Hussein ever done to you? He's thirsty for 3 days. What has he ever done to you? Why, I ask you, my sisters who are mothers will know this. A mother will give up everything she has, sacrifice everything she has, take spears into her heart just to give her child one moment of comfort. A voice is heard around these plains as a lady embraces the head of Hussein. She cries aloud, puts her neck on his head. I'm his mother, cut my neck instead. It's the final strike and Hussein's last breath. He thanks Allah as he meets his death. Lady Zahra cries with a broken heart as the head and the body come apart, as the head and the body come apart. On the day of Ashura, Imam al-Hussein placed the soles of his blessed feet on the burning sands of Karbala. He looked up towards the heavens and uttered those immortal words, those everlasting words, and he said, Hal min nasin yansuruna, is there anyone to help me? On that day he knew that he faced an army of 30,000, but he wasn't talking to that army of 30,000. He was talking to the generations. He was talking to me, he was talking to you, he was talking to all of us. And he was asking us, when your day comes, will you stand up for the truth like I stood up for the truth? And will you stand up against injustice like I stood up against injustice? And here, sitting in Manchester today, we make a pledge to Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. Our children, our men, our women, our elders make this pledge to Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam, and we meet your voice when you say Hal min nasi yansurna, and our voices meet your voice and we say Labbaika ya Hussein to your call. So I want you to all raise your hands, both of your hands. And make this pledge to Imam al-Hussein that from today forward, whether it's in your own houses, in your neighborhoods, in your schools, in your workplaces, anywhere in the world you see injustice, you will make your voice heard. And when you raise your hand, say Labbaik ya Hussein, you're making this promise. Every together 10 times. Labbaik ya Hussein, 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 Labbaik ya Hussein. Muhammad wa ali Muhammad salawat.
Salawat. Without any further delay, if I could please invite, with your loudest of salawats, and if you could stand as well, to invite Maulana Sheikh Muhammad Abbas Panjur to the member. Salawat.
We have a request before we begin today's discourse that we are able to recite Surah-Al-Fatiha for the blessed soul of Sayyid Asif Al-Hamadani and for all our marhumin and marhumat rahimallahu man qara'a Surah Al-Mubarakat Al-Fatiha. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله بارئ الخلائق الأجمعين باعث الأنبياء والمرسلين ثم الصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء حبيب قلوبنا وشفيع ذنوبنا أبي القاسم محمد ثم الصلاة والسلام على أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المذلومين سيما ولي الله الحجة ابن الحسن صاحب الأمر والزمان روحي وأرواح العالمين له الفداء ولعنة الله على أعدائهم أجمعين من الأولين والآخرين إلى قيام يوم الدين صلى الله عليك يا مولاي يا أبا عبد الله صلى الله عليك يا مولاي يا أبا عبد الله يا رحمة الله الواسعة ويباب نجاة الأمة يا غريب الغرباء يا مظلوم كربلاء السلام على من جعل الله الشفاء في تربته السلام على من الإجابة تحت قبته السلام على ساكن كربلاء فيا ليتنا ثم يا ليتنا كنا معكم سادتي يا سادتي فنفوز فوزا عظيما قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم إن لقتل الحسين حرارة في قلوب المؤمنين لا تبرد أبدا صدق النبي وآمنا به نوروا مجالسكم بذكر محمد وآل محمد I would like to begin first and foremost by thanking each and every one of you for making this effort to attend and participate in reviving the grief of Ali Muhammad. And there is not a single act which is done in the way of Sayyid al-Shuhada that is not recorded by Sayyid al-Shuhada, that does not come to the attention of Sayyid al-Shuhada. Mu'mineen, mu'minat, haniyan lakum. Congratulations to you for when you return back home tonight, there is a scroll of deeds written by the Malaika, a list in which there is the name of the people who have attended and have wept over this tragedy of Imam al-Hussein. And this list is taken up towards the Arsh. Sayyid al-Shuhada, seated by the right of the Arsh, gets this list and registers your names for Jannah. Understand the value of these majalis, the value of these gatherings and these seatings. A person as despicable as me, a sinner that I am, impure that I am, as Imam al-Hussein looks at my name. We have within the hadith Imam al-Baqir salawatullahi wa salamuhu alayhi, in a part of his narration, he talks about Imam al-Hussein, and he says, وَإِنَّهُ لَيَرَى مَنْ يَبْكِيهِ فَيَسْتَغْفِرْ لَهُ. Indeed, Sayyid al-Shuhada looks at those people who are weeping for him and he seeks forgiveness for them. If anything, we should have that yaqeen that no matter how many sins we may have, today Sayyid al-Shuhada insha'Allah seeks forgiveness for us. And from here then it becomes our responsibility that we try as much as possible and we ensure that we don't let the Imam down, such that he has to intercede for the same sins that we committed in the past. This is one. Number two, a gratitude towards respected reciters and organizers for this majlis, for this gathering. I pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through Sayyid al-Shuhada fulfills all your supplications, fulfills all your needs and your desires for yourselves and for your families, and inshallah grants you the best of the dunya as well as the akhirah. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Ahibai, Tashayyu', Shi'ism in its entirety is dependent upon two institutions and two establishments. So long as these two establishments are adhered to, are kept alive and commemorated, and their spirit implemented, you find that Shi'ism in itself can never be obliterated from this dunya. Yani the continuance of this faith is dependent on two prime establishments. One is the establishment of Ghadir, and the other is the establishment of Ashura. You find that our entire madhab is built on these two institutions. The institution of Ghadir that marks the wilayah of Mawlana Amir al-Mu'mineen, and the event of Ashura that marks the martyrdom of Sayyid al-Shuhada Aba Abdullah al-Hussein. My message to you, my brothers and sisters, the continuance of this faith is built upon these two institutions. And when you look at the history of this deen, and you look at the mannerisms in which this deen has survived from generation to generation, you will find that the enemies of Islam, the enemies of Tashayyu' have always attacked these two institutions. They have attacked the institution of Ghadir, and they have tried to attack the institution of Ashura. Throughout history you will find that the challenge has been to attack Ghadir and attack Ashura. Why? Allah Azza wa Jal has decided that the door to guidance is incorporated within Ghadir, the wilayah of Amir al-Mu'mineen, and Ashura, the martyrdom of Sayyid al-Shuhada. How many people have found the true path through the message of Ghadir? How many people have been inspired to the true path through the message of Ashura? And therefore you find that the forces of Shaitan and all the other Abalish have concentrated all their efforts to attack and to create doubts in regards to this issue of Ghadir and this issue of Ashura. Which is why, as a response, if we understand this, we uphold the message of Ghadir and the message of Ashura twice as much stronger. Not only is the establishment and the continuance of this madhab based on Ghadir and Ashura, our identity is built on Ghadir and Ashura. Enta Shi'i Muwali, who hopes to be from amongst the Ansar and the Ashab of Imam al-Hujjah, there are two aspects that are ingrained within your personality. There are two aspects within every heartbeat, and those two aspects are from the aspects of Ghadir and Ashura. Your personality should scream out, Aliyun Waliyullah. Your personality should cry out, Ya Hussein. And this is what these majalis are built for and meant for. This is that culture that we are supposed to nurture within ourselves. Our message and our responsibility towards Ghadir, number one, the wilayah of Amir al-Mu'mineen. Building our love and our loyalty for this master, Amir al-Mu'mineen. And the door of all tragedies in Islam began from here, when people abandoned Amir al-Mu'mineen. A people who perhaps loved Amir al-Mu'mineen, but that love was not staunch enough to give birth to loyalty. Loyalty towards Amir al-Mu'mineen entails facing the entire dunya, facing everything within the realm of wujud, within the realm of existence, being ready to face any and every opposition, just so that you can stand alongside your master. Our loyalty towards Amir al-Mu'mineen needs to be cemented. Our love for Amir al-Mu'mineen needs to be cemented. Our knowledge about Amir al-Mu'mineen. Respected brothers and sisters, we can try to understand Amir al-Mu'mineen from a number of perspectives. You can try to understand Amir al-Mu'mineen by analyzing his actions from a number of fields, from the fields of psychology and the field of medicine and from the art of war and so on and so forth. You can try and understand Amir al-Mu'mineen through the eyes of historians that were loyal to him, and you can try and understand Amir al-Mu'mineen from the works of historians that never accepted him. There are many avenues through which you can understand Amir al-Mu'mineen. But one of the best ways to understand Amir al-Mu'mineen, in order to be able to build this love and loyalty that is matloob, that is necessary, is to understand Amir al-Mu'mineen through the Quran. Understand Amir al-Mu'mineen in the way that Allah Azza wa Jal, the creator of Ali, understand Ali through the words of the creators of Ali. Mufassirin of the Quran have come forward, both from the Amma and the Khassa, who come forward with writings of close to 1,000 verses revealed in the Quran in honor of Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib. 1,000 verses that describe Amir al-Mu'mineen. 1,000 verses through which we are able to understand Amir al-Mu'mineen. It becomes our responsibility that we increase our knowledge and we understand Amir al-Mu'mineen through the Quran. And number two, do whatever is possible within our powers, with hikmah, with wisdom and with love, invite people towards the wilayah of Amir al-Mu'mineen. Tabligh. One. Number two, the institution of Ashura and the commemoration of the martyrdom of Sayyid al-Shuhada. This grief, these tears and this weeping and this lamentation, this wailing and this screaming are from the alamat of a mu'min. You see, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, O you who believe. You find how many verses in the Quran that begin with this verse? Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, and then a particular message comes out. It becomes important that we recite Quran with tadabbur. When the Lord of the universe says, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, O you who believe, O you who have iman, it becomes important for me to ask myself, what are the characteristics of the people who have iman? Because this khitab is a khitab khas. It is particular. This call is particular to a group of people who have a certain type or certain aspect, certain characteristics within them. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, O you who have iman. Who are those who have iman? In other words, what is the definition of a mu'min? What are the traits and the characters of a mu'min? You find the literature left behind by Ahlul Bayt gives us a number of perspectives and a number of dimensions, number of characters that a mu'min has. But Rasulullah identifies one outstanding trait of a mu'min. In this hadith sharif mentioned in Mustadrak al-Wasa'il, the Holy Prophet of Islam says, Inna liqatlil Husayn hararatan fi qulubil mu'minina la tabrudu abada. Indeed, for the killing of Hussein, Inna liqatlil Husayn, Inna adawat al-ta'qid, yani a particle denoting absolute occurrence. Indeed, for the killing of Imam al-Husayn, indeed for the killing of Hussein, Inna liqatlil Husayn hararatan, there is a burning heat fi qulubil mu'minina. Allah. Rasulullah, the messenger of Islam, says, indeed for the killing of Imam al-Hussein, there is a burning heat within the hearts of the mu'mineen. This kalam is muqayyad, is restricted to a certain group of people. He didn't say fi qulubil nas, and he didn't say fi qulubil muslimin. He said there is a burning heat in regards to the killing of Imam al-Hussein, a burning anguish within them in their hearts. Where? In the hearts of the mu'mineen. Meaning that one of the character, one of the sifat of a mu'min is that he has a burning heat and a burning rage inside his heart due to the manner and for the manner in which Imam al-Hussein was killed. You want to measure the extent of iman in your heart? Measure the temperature of this heat, harara, this burning anguish in your heart for Imam al-Hussein. It's the words of Rasulullah. And this is a heat that can never be extinguished. Inna liqatlil Husayn hararatan fi qulubil mu'minina la tabrudu abada. Again, Rasulullah emphasizes with this word abada. It can never be extinguished, this heat. Even Yawmul Qiyamah, we shall cry for Imam al-Hussein. And this is within the traditions of Ahlul Bayt. We are faced with a number of challenges, and a number of obstacles in this day and age. Challenges in regards to our faith and our values and our belief system. But I say to you, as believers, as youth, do not ever feel ashamed of crying for Imam al-Hussein. Do not ever feel embarrassed to cry for Imam al-Hussein. Do not let any type of research or any type of culture come and tell you that crying is a sign of weakness. We don't believe in an atheistic culture. If crying was a sign of weakness, then perhaps the weakest man to walk this earth was Amirul Mu'mineen. Is there any doubt in the bravery of Amirul Mu'mineen, a celebrated warrior that the world has never seen the likes of, a man of religion who has defended the principles of religion in a manner that no other divinely sent man has defended religion, the most courageous person to have walked this earth? When he went into battle, his name in itself caused fear in the people. This name, Haidar. This Amirul Mu'mineen wept for Imam al-Hussein. Do not let a culture come and persuade you or try and distract you away or take away this culture of weeping that has been granted to us by Allah. Invite people towards Imam al-Hussein through these tears. Strengthen your nafs through these tears. Positive, the power within this tear. Imam Sadiq says that the single tear shed in the way of Imam al-Hussein is so powerful that if it were to be dropped on the fires of Jahannam, it would extinguish the fire of hell in its entirety. Do you know what is the fire of hell? A fire of hell whose fuel is men and stones. A fire which is ignited due to the wrath of the creator of the universe. And we cannot comprehend that fire of Jahannam. Imagine the power within this tear that it can extinguish this entire fire. The power of this tear, again, Imamain as-Sadiqain, they say that this tear, which is the size of the wing of a fly that comes out of your eye, is enough to get you into Jannah. Do you know what are the indications behind these narrations? That the tear in itself is powerful enough to induce a revolution within you. If you are looking for change, if you are looking to be motivated to be more compliant in your religion, if you are looking for inspiration in order to become more God conscious, if you are looking for inspiration in order to fulfill your obligation towards Ahlul Bayt, then weep for Imam al-Hussein, because even a tear as small as the fly of a wing, if it can be powerful enough to extinguish the fire of hell, believe me, it is strong enough to induce within you revolution to change. And for this reason, the Imams, Ai-Imma of Ahlul Bayt, have emphasized that these majalis of weeping must continue till the day of judgment. The thawab is written for you even before the tear comes out of the eye. Nafasul mahmum lidhulmina tasbih. The breath of a person who's overcome by grief due to the oppression that befell Ahlul Bayt, Imam Sadiq says, is counted as tasbih. Your breath, sitting in this majlis listening to oratory and poetry, and as your grief builds in, the Baba, you have not even started crying, and the Malaika have started reciting and recording for you praises of Allah, glorifying Allah, tasbih. These majalis are majalis of ibadat. Do not underestimate the importance of these. These are majalis that were established and loved by Imam Zainul Abidin, salawatullahi wa salamuhu alayhi. The request is to recite or to shed some light on the tragedies of Imam Zainul Abidin. This is Imam Sajjad for 34 years after Karbala. There was not a single time that food was placed in front of him except that he wept. There was not a single time that water was brought in front of him except that he wept. The narrations mention that his weeping was so intense, he would weep until he falls to the brink of death. One time his servant comes to him and says to him, Yabna Rasulullah, grandson of the Holy Prophet, until when will you weep over the tragedy of Karbala? 30 years later, Imam Zainul Abidin looks at him and he says, oh man, Ayub wept over his son until his hair became white and his back became bent. He wept to an extent that he lost his eyesight when he knew that his son Yusuf was alive, but the grief of separation made him blind due to this intense grief. Then what about me when I saw 17 members of my family slain in front of my eyes, lying headless on the plains of Karbala? Imam Zainul Abidin taught us that anything and everything you do should remind you of Imam al-Hussein. Imam Zainul Abidin taught us that even a task as simple as going to the butcher should remind you of Imam al-Hussein. The narrations mention, the historians mention, at one time he stands by the market, in a section of the market where there are butchers, and they take forward their sheep to slaughter them. Imam Zainul Abidin stands in front of them. He looks at this butcher taking forward the sheep such that he may slaughter. Imam Zainul Abidin begins to weep and wail in the market. The butcher says to him, Yabna Rasulullah, grandson of Rasulullah, why is it that you weep and wail in the market? Imam Zainul Abidin tearfully looks at him and says to him, oh man, did you feed this animal, this sheep, with water? Do you know what is heartbreaking? The answer of the butcher. Do you know what the butcher said? He said, Yabna Rasulullah, we are Muslims. Yabna Rasulullah, we are Muslims. We do not slaughter any sheep except that we feed it with water, except that we quench its thirst. Imam Zainul Abidin looks towards Karbala and cried out, Assalamu alayka ya Aba Abdullah. He says, how oppressed is my grandfather who was beheaded, who was slaughtered while he was thirsty by people who claim to be Muslims. How oppressed, wallah, how oppressed is the grandson of Rasulullah. The sheep were not sacrificed without water. The grandson of Rasulullah was killed thirsty. I want to mention for you from the tragedies of Imam al-Hussein, 3 tragedies that he witnessed in his life, as a result of which his grief became eternal. 34 years of masa'ib, 34 years of grief. I want to mention for you 3 incidences of grief that Imam Sajjad never forgot. In fact, 3 times in his life, Imam Sajjad almost died out of grief. The first incident is the incident when they were entering into Sham as prisoners. And you are in the doors of these are the days of Sham, 30th of Muharram, 1st of Safar. We are in these days. The historians mention that Ahlul Bayt entered into Sham on the 1st of Shahr al-Safar, brought in as prisoners. The narrations mention that The women were tied with ropes around their hands and around their necks. There was a single rope that was tied across the necks of all the women. Between every adult woman there was a child, and a single rope connected between the neck of the adult and the neck of the child, which means that if the adult wants to stand up straight, they would choke the child. Sayyidah Zainab al-Kubra entered into Sham in almost like a state of ruku, bending down such that she doesn't choke Ruqayya behind her. In this manner that they are entering into Sham, the heads of the shuhada are lifted on spears. And the very first of the spears is the head of Imam al-Hussein. A caller calls out to the people of Sham to come out in celebration. For 3 days the city has been celebrated. The people are beating drums and celebrating and laughing and dancing in the faces of the women and the children of Ahlul Bayt. As the head of Imam al-Hussein is brought on a spear, Sayyidah Kulthum narrates this. She says that a Khariji woman, one who was from the enemies of Amirul Mu'mineen, an old woman, Kharijiyah, she comes out and she asks, whose head is this on the spear? Shimar al-La'in says to her that this is the head of Hussein ibn Ali. She turns around and she says, Hussein, the son of which Ali? He says, Ali ibn Abi Talib. She said to Shimar al-La'in, she says to him that my husband was killed by Ali ibn Abi Talib in the battle of Siffin. Will you give me an opportunity to seek revenge from Ali on this day? The Shimar al-La'in, Shimar bin Dhul-Jawshan says, seek revenge for what Ali did to you from the head of Imam al-Hussein. The historians mention that because the heads were raised up on spears, she climbed up to the top of her roof where she had a close view of the head of Imam al-Hussein on a spear. Sayyidah Kulthum says that this woman picked up a stone in her hand. This woman picked up a stone in her hand. With all the power that she had, she threw the stone on the head of Abu Abdullah. Sayyidah Kulthum says one of the miracles from the head of Imam al-Hussein is that as soon as the stone hit the head of Imam al-Hussein, blood began to flow from the forehead. Sayyidah Kulthum says the manner in which the woman threw the stone was with so much power, the head of Imam al-Hussein fell from the spear onto the ground. At this moment, Imam Sajad fell down to the ground and said, Ya Hussein! The alim says, I don't know what went through the heart of Sajjad when he saw the head of Imam al-Hussein rolling in the bazaar of Shah. He cried out, Father, let me hold your head, but my hands are tied together. May Allah have mercy on your tears. May Allah have mercy on your tears. May these tears be the reason for us to enter into Jannah. May these tears be a reason for us to be in the camp of Imam al-Hussein. Imam al-Sadiq says that when a person cries for Imam al-Hussein, these tears are counted as condolences that are sent to Sayyidah Fatima al-Zahra. Allah. This says one of the hadith, when you shed tears for Imam al-Hussein, they're sent as a condolence to Sayyidah Fatima al-Zahra. She feels in comfort, she feels relaxed that there are people to cry for her son. I tell you, O Shia, make Sayyidah Fatima happy, because this woman didn't have happiness in her life. Perhaps today you will bring a smile on the face of Sayyidah Fatima al-Zahra. Perhaps she will hold a broken rib and say, Alhamdulillah. The second moment where Imam Sajjad almost died in his life out of grief. The second moment, the narrations mention that when they were in the Darbar of Sham, Allah, when they are inside the dungeon of Sham and they are in imprisonment. This prison was a prison which was like a dungeon. An underground dungeon you could think of as, but a dungeon without a roof. So they were not protected from the heat of the sun during the daytime, and neither were they protected from the coldness of the desert nights. Imam Sajjad is in the dungeon one of the nights together with his auntie Sayyidah Zainab and the rest of the women. And on this cold night, when all the children are sleeping, suddenly Sayyidah Ruqayya wakes up from her sleep. This Ruqayya, or who we call Sakina, this 4-year-old daughter of Imam al-Hussein, Ruqayya, she wakes up from her sleep by screaming and crying out. Sayyidah Zainab al-Kubra goes to her and she says, "My daughter, my darling, why is it that you woke up from your sleep?" Sayyidah Ruqayya replies back by saying, "Auntie Zainab, I saw my father in my dream. Abu Abdullah, I saw my father in my dream, and my father said, 'Oh Ruqayya, I am waiting for you. Soon we shall be reunited.'" Sayyidah Ruqayya began to weep and cry. She said, "Auntie Zainab, I shall not go to sleep, neither shall I continue without my father. I want my father tonight. He promised me in my dream that we will be together." The little girl cried her heart out until Yazid al-La'in woke up. They say that Yazid woke up due to the crying and the weeping. He asks his God, "What has happened? Why is there weeping from the dungeon?" The prison guard comes and says to Yazid, "There is a little girl by the age of 4. She misses her father. She is crying due to the grief of her father." Yazid al-La'in says, "Increase the grief of this girl by showing her the severed head of her father." The narrations mention that when the blessed head of Imam al-Hussein was brought and attached on a tray, this little girl, she looked at the head of Imam, she hugged the severed head of Imam al-Hussein. She cried her heart out. Is there anyone to have mercy on the orphans of Ala Muhammad? A few months back we had a funeral in London. Somebody's father passed away. When we finished reciting Salatul Mayyit, the casket was in front of us. So they opened the casket and they opened up a coffin, such that people are able to give their final farewell to the person who is deceased. By Allah, this person who lost his father, he was an adult, he was grown up. His father's body is intact. His father's body is in one piece. His father is going to be buried very shortly with honor and dignity. But when he saw the body of his father in a coffin, he cried so much he fainted out of grief. I say, if an adult can faint while looking at the dead body of his father, then what about Ruqayya? This is a severed head without a body. The narration says that she hugged the head of her father and she cried until she fell silent. The women think that Sayyidah Ruqayya has gone to sleep. Imam Zainul Abidin stands up and says, "Oh Auntie Zainab, the soul of this child has left her body due to grief." The hardest point in the life of Imam Zainul Abidin inside that dungeon of Sham was, how do you dig the grave of your sister? A man who is a prisoner, Zainul Abidin, not a sword with him, not anyone to help him. He got down on his knees. He began to dig the sand with his hands. Madloom Imam Zainul
They say for Imam Sajjad to dig the grave with his hands was difficult. I tell you, Ya Shia ala Muhammad, what was more harder for Zainul Abidin was to cover the grave with the body of Ruqayya inside. Is there anyone to help Sajjad when he threw sand on the face of Ruqayya? Imam Zainul Abidin almost died out of grief. The third incident, and this is the final incident, may Allah have mercy on your tears. 13th of Muharram, Allahu Akbar. 13th of Muharram, Imam Zainul Abidin, by way of miracle, returns back from Kufa to Karbala to bury the Shuhada. Allah. Shuhada of Karbala have been left for 3 days on the plains without a ghusl, without a coffin, the wind blowing across these bodies covered in wood and sand. The narrations mention Imam Sajjad went to Karbala. He got Bani Asad to help him dig a mass grave. And this mass grave was divided into 2 parts. One part, the Shuhada from Bani Hashim were buried in them. And one part, the rest of the Ashab. Together, this one mass grave. May Allah grant each and every one of us the opportunity to visit Imam al-Hussein in Karbala. This is the grave of the Shuhada. This one grave that contains all the companions. One side Bani Hashim, one side the Ashab. Imam Sajjad got the Bani Asad to help him to put down these bodies and cover them. Allahu Akbar. When he completed this, he moved towards the body of Imam al-Hussein. Bani Asad thought that Imam Zainul Abidin will ask them, Imam Zainul Abidin, he will ask them to help in burying the body of Imam al-Hussein over here. Imam Sajjad said, no, people of Bani Asad, now I shall bury my father, thank you. And he sends them back. Only a Ma'soom Imam buries an Imam. Allahu Akbar. No other Imam has had to bury their father in the way that Imam Zainul Abidin had to bury his father. Allahu Akbar. The narrations mention, Arbab al-Maqatil mention that the grave of Imam al-Hussein was dug by Rasulullah himself. Yani the Holy Prophet of Islam had already dug the grave of Imam. When Imam Sajjad moved the dust of Karbala, he saw that there is a grave already dug inside. The people of Bani Asad narrate this event. They said, we stood back while we watched Imam Zainul Abidin, how he would bury his father. The narrations mention that Imam Zainul Abidin tried to lift the body of Imam al-Hussein from the right side. And then Imam Zainul Abidin sat down. He cried. He stood up. He tried to lift the body from the left side. He couldn't. He sat down. They said, what happened? Imam Zainul Abidin says, every time I lifted the body from the right side, the left side of the body fell over. He says, every time I lifted the body of my father from the left, the right side of the body falls over. They said, why? He said, they trampled on the body of my father. One of the enemies, he describes the way in which the body of Imam al-Hussein was trampled upon by horses. He says, we crushed the body of Imam al-Hussein. We broke every bone in that body, mixing the broken bones and the skin with the sands of Karbala. For this one rib of Fatima al-Zahra, every bone in the body of Imam al-Hussein was broken. Who is there to help Sajjad? He lifts the body from one side, the other side falls over. He calls Bani Asad and asks them for a cloth, one big cloth. They come and they give Imam Zainul Abidin a cloth. He puts the cloth on the plains of Karbala. And how Imam Zainul Abidin does, don't ask me. But the translation of the words that I use is that Imam Zainul Abidin gathered the broken body of Hussein onto a single cloth to lower him into the grave. Allah. He lowered the grave, he lowered Imam al-Hussein, he took him down inside the grave. Allah, he took him down inside the grave. Ahibai, in our fiqh, in our Sharia, fiqh Ahlul Bayt, it says that from the rules of burial, the regulations of burial, is that when you lower the body into the grave, you put it on the right side. And when you lower the grave on the right side, it is mustahab, and it is a requirement that you open up the coffin and you put the right cheek of the dead body on the sand of the grave. I tell you, the body Imam Zainul Abidin was buried. It's a body without a head. This is Imam burying his son in Karbala, while the head is in the palace of Ibn Ziyad in Kufa. There was no head to put on the right side. The people of Bani Asad are waiting for Imam Zainul Abidin. They say he has not yet come out from the grave. They thought perhaps that he may have fainted inside the grave. When they say we went a little bit closer, we saw Imam Sajad kissing the manhar of Imam. The manhar is that part of the jugular vein. The manhar is that part of the neck from which the head of Imam al-Hussein was severed. Imam Zainul Abidin, we can never understand the grief of Imam Zainul Abidin. The narrations mention, and this is my last moment, this is my last statement. The narrations mention Imam Zainul Abidin, when he came out of the grave, he began to walk around the grave of Imam al-Hussein as if he is searching for something on the desert fields. Allahu Akbar. Sometimes he goes down on his knees. He uses his hands to separate the sand. Bani Asad are watching and observing the behavior of Imam Sajad until they see that he has reached a certain part, not too far from the body of Imam al-Hussein. Imam Zainul Abidin found something on the plains of Karbala. He sat down, he kissed this, he put it on his forehead. The people of Bani Asad said, we came a little bit closer to see what did Zainul Abidin find on the plains of Karbala. Somebody thought it was a possession or some treasure that was stolen. He said, when we went a little bit closer to see what is in the hands of Zainul Abidin, he said, we saw a severed finger in the hands of Imam Sajad. They asked him the story behind. They said, Zainul Abidin, we were not able to bury the bodies because they were separated from the heads. We couldn't identify them. They said, Zainul Abidin, whose body piece is this? Whose finger is this? Imam Sajad shrieks. Allah, he shrieks and he says, this is the finger of my father Hussein. How? Shame Gariban, before Shame Gariban, when they came to loot the body of Imam al-Hussein, somebody stole his amama, somebody stole his slippers, somebody stole his rida, and then came a la'in by the name of Khuli. He tried to find something. He says everything is stolen from the body. Even the torn shirt of Imam al-Hussein was removed. He said, I felt a lot of regret that I've missed out on stealing from Imam al-Hussein. He says, I was about to walk back. Allah. He says, I was about to walk back and I looked at the body for one last time. Is there anything that I can steal? He says, I saw on the finger of Imam al-Hussein there there was a ring. I wanted that ring. Khuli says I tried to remove the ring wouldn't come out. But I really wanted to steal this from Hussein because the ring would not come out. Khuli says I began to cut the finger of Hussein.
إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله. ماتم حسين ماتم سجاد.
Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, سب مل کے یا حسین 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 بلند آواز سے یا حسین 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 یا سج گئے ہیں علم بچھ گیا فرش غم گھر میں مہمان ہے فاطمہ گھر میں مہمان ہے فاطمہ آ گیا ماہ رضا 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 سج گئے ہیں علم بچھ گیا فرش غم گھر میں مہمان ہے فاطمہ گھر میں مہمان ہے فاطمہ آ گیا ماہ رضا آ گیا ماہ رضا آ گیا ماہ سب مل کے آ گیا ماہ رضا بچ گئے ہیں علم بچھ گیا فرش غم گھر میں مہمان ہے فاطمہ گھر میں مہمان ہے فاطمہ آ گیا ماہ رضا آ گیا آ گیا لادا لادا آ گیا ماشاءاللہ ماہ رضا آ گیا پہنو احرام غم حد کری بیریا نوحہ ماتم کی گونجے فضا میں رضا آئی پھر سے کو ہے ایک دکھیاری ماں گریہ زاری کرو پرساداری کرو سوگوارے شہ کربلا اہل عزا کرنے آہو بکا غم منانا ہے شبیر کا ہے آ گیا آ گیا ماہ رضا آ گیا ماشاءاللہ ماہ رضا آ گیا ماہ رضا آ گیا پہنو احرام غم حد کری بیڑیا نوحہ ماتم کی گونجے فضا میں رضا آئی پھر سے کو ہے کرو پرساداری کرو سوگوارے شاہ کربلا اہل ادا کرنے آہو بکا غم منانا ہے شبیر کا آ گیا ماہ ادا آ گیا آ گیا ماشاءاللہ آ گیا یوں سجاؤ عزا خانہ شبیر کا رکھو مشک و علم جھولا کے شیر کا یہی ارمان ہے شیخ کی ہمشیر کا اشک آنکھوں میں ہو سوگ باتوں میں ہو یا حسینہ کی اٹھی صدا گریا کرتے رہو خاک اڑاتے رہو لبے ہو نوحہ و مرثیہ آ گیا آ گیا آ گیا ماہ ادا آ گیا ماہ ادا آ گیا ماہ ادا آ گیا یوں سجاؤ عزا خانہ شبیر کا رکھو مشک و علم جھولا بے شیر کا یہی ارمان ہے شیخ کی ہمشیر کا اشک آنکھوں میں ہو سوگ باتوں میں ہو یا حسینہ کی اٹھی صدا گریا کرتے رہو خاک اڑاتے رہو لبے ہو نوحہ و مرثیہ آ گیا ماہ ادا آ گیا ماشاءاللہ آ گیا آ گیا آ گیا آٹھویں آئی جب غم کے ایام کی غازی عباس کی گھر میں ہو حاضری بازو کٹنے کے پر سے کرے ماتمی یاد مقتل کرو آؤ سقا بنو ہم پرچم علمدار کا پانی بچوں کو دو سوکھے کوزے بھرو اب سبھی لے لگے جا بچا آ گیا ماہ ادا آ گیا آ گیا آ گیا ماشاءاللہ آ گیا ماہ ادا آ گیا آ گیا شام غم آ گئی اور خیمے جلے ہائے کلثوم و زینب کے پردے لٹے شاہ کی لاڈلی کو تماچے لگے بالیاں چھن گئی اس کا دامن جلا اس کو پانی نہیں مل سکا یاد ہو سب کرو اور تڑپتے رہو آؤ پھر سے کو اہل ادا آ گیا ماہ ادا آ گیا آ گیا ماہ ادا آ گیا ماہ ادا آ گیا آ گیا ہے سبیب پہ سلمان پہ یہ عطا غم مناتے ہیں ہم سال بھر شاہ کا گھر میں شادیاں خوشیوں کا ہو سلسلہ آئے نوحہ کرتے ہیں ہم گریا کرتے ہیں ہم یاد رکھتے ہیں کرب و بلا بی بی زہرا سے ہے ہم نے وعدہ کیا آؤ کرنے وہ وعدہ وفا آ گیا ماہ ادا آ گیا آ گیا ماہ ادا آ گیا آ گیا ماہ ادا آ گیا ہے سبیب پہ سلمان پہ یہ عطا غم مناتے ہیں ہم سال بھر شاہ کا ہے سبیب پہ سلمان پہ یہ عطا غم مناتے ہیں ہم سال بھر شاہ کا گھر میں شادی یا خوشیوں کا ہو سلسلہ نوحہ کرتے ہیں ہم گریہ کرتے ہیں ہم یاد رکھتے ہیں کرب و بلا بی بی زہرا سے ہے ہم نے وعدہ کیا آؤ کر لے وہ وعدہ وفا آ گیا ماہ ازا 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 آ گیا گھر کے گھوڑے سے مولا پکارے تو سکینہ خدا کے حوالے گھر کے گھوڑے سے مولا پکارے لو سکینہ خدا کے حوالے گھر کے گھوڑے سے مولا پکارے لو سکینہ خدا کے حوالے سب مل کے گھر کے گھوڑے سے مولا پکارے لو سکینہ خدا کے حوالے گر کے گھوڑے سے مولا پکارے لو سکینہ خدا کے حوالے گر کے گھوڑے سے مولا پکارے لو سکینہ خدا کے حوالے سب مل کے گر کے گھوڑے سے مولا پکارے لو سکینہ خدا کے حوالے گر کے گھوڑے سے مولا پکارے لو سکینہ خدا کے حوالے گر کے گھوڑے سے مولا پکارے لو سکینہ خدا کے ماشاءاللہ گر کے گھوڑے سے مولا پکارے لو سکینہ خدا کے حوالے گر کے گھوڑے لو سکینہ خدا کے حوالے اب لٹے گھر کو زینب سنبھالے اب لٹے گھر کو زینب سنبھالے گر کے گھوڑے سے مولا پکارے لو سکینہ خدا کے حوالے گر کے گھوڑے ماشاءاللہ لو سکینہ خدا کے حوالے گر کے گھوڑے سے مولا لو سکینہ خدا کے حوالے میں نے اصغر کی تربت بنائی لاش اکبر کی رن سے اٹھائی میں نے اصغر کی تربت بنائی لاش اکبر کی رن سے اٹھائی میرے قرآن کے بکھرے ہیں پارے میرے قرآن کے بکھرے ہیں پارے لو سکینہ خدا کے حوالے گر کے گھوڑے سے مولا پکارے لو سکینہ خدا کے حوالے گر کے گھوڑے سے مولا پکارے لو سکینہ خدا کے بلند آواز سے گر کے گھوڑے سے مولا پکارے لو سکینہ خدا کے حوالے گر کے گھوڑے سے مولا پکارے لو سکینہ خدا کے حوالے دی ہے بابا علی نے دعائی لینے آئی ہے ماں فاطمہ بھی دی ہے بابا علی نے دعائی لینے آئی ہے ماں فاطمہ بھی میرے بچے گئے ہائے مارے میرے بچے گئے ہائے مارے لو سکینہ خدا کے حوالے گر کے گھوڑے سے مولا پکارے لو سکینہ خدا کے حوالے گر کے گھوڑے لو سکینہ خدا کے حوالے سب مل کے گر کے گھوڑے سے مولا پکارے لو سکینہ خدا کے حوالے گر کے گھوڑے سے مولا پکارے لو سکینہ خدا کے حوالے لاش قاسم کے ٹکڑے اٹھائے اصغر نے بھی تیر کھائے سوئے جنت ہے اکبر ستارے سوئے جنت ہے اکبر ستارے لو سکینہ خدا کے حوالے گر کے گھوڑے سے مولا پکارے لو سکینہ خدا کے حوالے گر کے گھوڑے سے پکارے لو سکینہ خدا کے حوالے سب کے گر کے گھوڑے گھوڑا پکارے ماشاءاللہ خدا کے حوالے گر کے گھوڑے سے مولا پکارے
لو سکینہ خدا کے حوالے
ہاں دیکھو سجاد لمبا سفر گئے اور نیزے پہ بابا کا سر گئے دیکھو سجاد لمبا سفر گئے اور نیزے پہ بابا کا سر گئے چادروں کو کوئی نہ اتارے چادروں کو کوئی نہ اتارے لو سکینہ خدا کے حوالے گر کے گھوڑے سے مولا پکارے لو سکینہ خدا کے حوالے گر کے گھوڑے سے پکارے لو سکینہ خدا کے حوالے سب مل کے گر کے گھوڑے سے مولا پکارے لو سکینہ خدا کے حوالے گر کے گھوڑے سے مولا پکارے
لو سکینہ خدا کے حوالے
ہاں کیسے سو پائے گی اب سکینہ میری بچی کو شاہ مدینہ کیسے سو پائے گی اب سکینہ میری بچی کو شاہ مدینہ منہ پہ کوئی تماچے نہ مارے منہ پہ کوئی تماچے نہ مارے لو سکینہ خدا کے حوالے گر کے گھوڑے سے مولا پکارے لو سکینہ خدا کے حوالے گر کے گھوڑے پکارے لو سکینہ خدا کے حوالے آخری بار گر کے گھوڑے سے مولا پکارے لو سکینہ خدا کے حوالے یا حسین 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 حیا علی خیر العمل 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 یا حسین یا حسین مل کے یا حسین یا حسین یا حسین یا حسین یا حسین زہرا کی بیٹیوں کی ردائیں اتر گئی 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 سجاد کو ضعیف صدائیں کر گئی ہے زہرا کی بیٹیوں کی ردائیں اتر گئی زہرا کی بیٹیوں کی ردائیں سب کے نام مولا ہے زہرا کی بیٹیوں کی ردائیں اتر گئی زہرا کی کو ضعیف صدائیں کر گئی زہرا کی بیٹیوں کی ردائیں اتر گئی زہرا کی بیٹیوں کی سب کے ماشاءاللہ اتر گئی ہے زہرا کی بیٹیوں کی ردائیں اتر گئی لاشوں کو رسیوں میں جکڑ کر لیے پھرو لاشوں کو رسیوں میں جکڑ کر لیے پھرو سردانیاں تو گھر سے نکلتے ہی مر گئی سردانیاں تو گھر سے نکلتے ہی مر گئی زہرا کی بیٹیوں کی ردائیں اتر گئی زہرا کی بیٹیوں کی سب کی راہ مولا بلندہ سے ماشاءاللہ گئی ہے زہرا کی بیٹیوں کی ردائیں اتر گئی ہے زہرا کی بیٹیوں کی ردائیں اتر گئی جاتی تھی جو کبھی کبھی زہرا کی قبر پر جاتی تھی جو کبھی کبھی زہرا کی قبر پر جانے خدا ہجوم سے کیسے گزر گئی جانے خدا ہجوم سے کیسے گزر گئی زہرا کی بیٹیوں کی ردائیں اتر گئی زہرا کی بیٹیوں کی ردائیں اتر گئی ہے زہرا کی بیٹیوں ماشاءاللہ اتر گئی ہے زہرا کی بیٹیوں کی ردائیں اتر گئی بازار لے کے جاؤ نا بے پردہ ظالموں بازار لے کے جاؤ نا بے پردہ ظالموں مر جائے گی حسین کی بہنیں اگر گئی مر جائے گی حسین کی بہنیں اگر گئی زہرا کی بیٹیوں کی ردائیں اتر گئی زہرا کی بیٹیوں کی ردائیں اتر گئی ہے زہرا کی ردائیں اتر گئی زہرا کی بیٹیوں کی ردائیں اتر گئی ہے زہرا کی بیٹیوں کی ردائیں السلام علی الحسین السلام علی العباس السلام علی الحسین سلام علی بلندہ سے السلام علی بلند کر کے السلام علی العباس السلام علی الحسین السلام علی العباس السلام سن کے بات کرنا السلام علی العباس جب بھی گیا میں کرب و بلا جب بھی گیا میں کرب و بلا ایک ہجوم تھا لوگوں کا جاگتی آنکھوں سے میں نے جنت کا منظر دیکھا سجدہ سرے پہ گلہر میں کرتے ہوئے یہ دل نے کہا السلام علی الحسین السلام علی العباس السلام علی الحسین سلام علی ماشاءاللہ جیو تکبیر السلام علی سب کے بلندہ سے السلام علی raise your hands up pledge allegiance السلام علی الحسین حسین بیک وائس کی ہر کربلا علی العباس السلام ماشاءاللہ السلام علی العباس ایک وقار پیغمبر ایک بنی ہاشم کا قمر ایک سوار دوش نبی ایک علمدار لشکر دونوں میرے آقا مولا ابنا علی ابنا زہرا السلام علی الحسین السلام علی العباس السلام علی الحسین السلام علی العباس السلام علی الحسین السلام علی البنا سے السلام علی الحسین السلام علی العباس السلام علی الحسین السلام علی العباس شام غریباں آ پہنچی آل محمد تھے قیدی ایک بہن پابند رسن حام علم کو روتی ہوئی بھائی کے لاشوں پر آ کر کرتی رہی یہی نوحہ السلام علی الحسین السلام علی العباس السلام علی الحسین السلام علی العباس السلام علی الحسین Don't be shy, raise your hands عباس السلام علی الحسین السلام علی العباس السلام علی الحسین السلام علی العباس ایک وہ بچی معصومہ نام سکینہ تھا جس کا ایک وہ بچی معصومہ نام سکینہ تھا جس کا کہتی تھی آ جاؤ چچا آؤ میرے پیارے بابا جب بھی تماچا اس کو لگا کہہ کے یہی روئی دکھیا السلام علی الحسین السلام علی العباس 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 فخر ہے یہ سلمان و کریم ہم کو ملا یہ شرف عظیم دونوں کے در چومے ہیں ہے یہ عطائے رب رحیم سانسوں میں اور دھڑکن میں شامل ہے یہی جملہ السلام علی الحسین السلام علی العباس 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 یا رب کوئی معصومہ زندہ میں نہ تنہا ہو یا رب کوئی معصومہ زندہ میں نہ تنہا ہو یا رب کوئی معصومہ بلندہ سے ماشاءاللہ تنہا ہو ہے یا رب کوئی معصومہ زندہ میں نہ تنہا ہو یا رب کوئی معصومہ زندہ میں نہ تنہا ہو یا رب کوئی معصومہ زندہ میں نہ تنہا ہو پابند نہ ہو آہیں ہے پابند نہ ہو آہیں رونے پہ نہ پھیرا ہو یا رب کوئی معصومہ
یا رب کوئی معصومہ زندہ تنہا ہو بلندہ سے ماشاءاللہ ہے یا رب کوئی معصومہ زندہ میرا تنہا ہو ہے یا رب کوئی معصومہ زندہ میرا تنہا ہو تھی جس کو نیند آتی شبیر کے سینے پر تھی جس کو نیند آتی شبیر کے سینے پر زندہ در زندان ہائے زندہ در زندان اس کے لیے قضا ہو یا رب کوئی معصومہ زندہ میں نہ تنہا ہو یا رب کوئی معصومہ زندہ میں نہ تنہا ہو یا رب کوئی معصومہ زندہ میں نہ تنہا ہو ہے یا رب کوئی معصومہ زندہ میں نہ تنہا ہو زندان میں نجفی یاد آئی سکینہ کی زندان میں نجفی یاد آئی سکینہ کی دل رو رو کہہ رہا ہے ہائے دل رو رو کہہ رہا ہے اب نہ اجالا ہو یا رب کوئی معصومہ زندہ میں نہ تنہا ہو یا رب کوئی معصومہ زندہ میں نہ تنہا ہو الوداع مصرع سب مل کے پڑھیں یا رب کوئی معصومہ زندہ میں نہ تنہا ہو یا رب کوئی معصومہ زندہ میں نہ تنہا ہو یا رب کوئی معصومہ زندہ میں نہ تنہا ہو پابند نہ ہو آنے ہائے پابند نہ ہو آنے رونے پہ نہ پہرا ہو یا رب کوئی معصومہ زندہ میں نہ تنہا ہو یا رب کوئی معصومہ یا حسین یا حسین یا حسین یا حسین
انشاءاللہ the last items جزاكم الله خير الجزاء يا حسين يا حسين يا حسين يا حسين يا حسين جزاكم الله خير الجزاء your chorus حبيب الله زين العابدين very simple حبيب الله زين العابدين in the chorus raise your arms جزاكم الله خير الجزاء raise your arms to the sky in the love of Imam زين العابدين حبيب الله زين العابدين حبيب الله زين العابدين حبيب الله زين العابدين حبيب الله زين العابدين مولا حبيب الله زين العابدين ما شاء الله حبيب الله زين العابدين حبيب الله زين العابدين حبيب الله as I lay in my tent hearing my father call out is there no one left to fight I awake and try to shout oh Hussein I am coming but my voice I had no more my soul battles my body martyrdom I'm craving for حيدر يا علي حيدر 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 حبيب الله زين العابدين حبيب الله raise your arms حبيب الله زين العابدين حبيب الله on my left side lays Akbar Asghar's cradle on my right their bodies are now lifeless Zainab looks on at the sight now my father too has has gone, and the goose trample his chest. The light from his cup shines on. I feel helpless and distressed, Haydar, 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 Habibullah, Zainul Abidin, Habibullah, Zainul Abidin, Habibullah, Mashallah, Mashallah, Habibullah, Zainul Abidin, Habibullah. Ahmed was fed to me in the form of whips and chains. Place, mashallah, hella, spikes cut deep into my throat, slicing skin, exposing veins. Walking through the desert heat, the newly opened around, wail over the others. Their heads on spears they found, now they found Haydar, 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 Habibullah, Zainul Abidin, Habibullah, Zainul Abidin, Habibullah, Zainul Abidin, Habibullah, Zain, Zain, Zainul Abidin, Zain, Zain, Zainul Abidin, Zain, Zain, Zainul Abidin, Zain, Zain, Zainul Abidin. Your voice is Zain, Zain, Zainul Abidin, Zain, Zain, Zainul Abidin. Alone in my tent I stand. Where's my father Hussein I demand? With my loudest voice I scream, I am his son Zainul Abidin. Stood, 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 all by myself. Stood, 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 with no one else. Zain, Zain, Zainul Abidin, Zain, Zain, Zainul Abidin. Raise your arms, Zain, Zain, Zainul Abidin, Zain, Zainul Abidin. Total absence of all sound, not even a whisper to be found. Life become before a storm, silence before a tragedy's born. Still, 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 they're all around. Still, 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 there is no sound. Zain, Zain, Zainul Abidin, Zain, Zain, Zainul Abidin. Let me hear you. Zain, 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 Zainul Abidin. Shaking hands and the flaps, but the sight I see makes me collapse. Body, arms, legs, where are the rest? And why is shimmer sat on his chest? Why in front of me? Why can this now be? Zain, Zain, Zainul Abidin, Zain, Zain, Zainul Abidin. Louder, Zain, Zain, Zainul Abidin, Zain, Zain, Zainul Abidin. Hussein, I must the sound as my weak body fell to the ground, and as my sight was failing, all I could hear were his ribs breaking. Snap, 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 it's filled my ears. Snap, 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 my deepest fears. Zain, Zain, Zainul Abidin, Zain, Zain, Zainul Abidin, Zain, Zain, Zainul Abidin, Zain, Zain, Zainul Abidin. Surely that was all a dream. I think as I hear a young girl scream, it's that Ruqayya I hear, as blood is pouring down from her ear. Scream, 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 take me in. that scream, scream, screams. They fill my head. Zayn, Zayn, Zayn al-Abidin. Zayn, Zayn, Zayn al-Abidin. Zayn, Zayn, Zayn al-Abidin. Zayn, Zayn, Zayn al-Abidin. Then he bowed in prostration, bloodshot eyes with determination. He had to bring salvation. He had to be the inspiration. Sham, 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 and all the pain. Sham, 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 leaving Hussein, 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 La ilaha illallah, La ilaha illallah, La ilaha louder, La ilaha Allah, Muhammadan Rasulullah, Aliyan Waliyullah, Matam, Aliyan Waliyullah, Aliyan Waliyullah, Nadi Ali ya مظهر العجائب, نادي علي يا مظهر العجائب, تجده عونا لك في النوائب, كل هم وخم سينجلي, كل هم وخم سينجلي. بعظمتك بعظمتك بنبوتك وبنبوتك وبولايتك علي 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 حسين 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 زين 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 يا زين العابدين. Please face the khulid. جزاكم الله خير الجزاء for the دعاء. تفضل الشيخ الدعاء. جزاكم الله خير الجزاء. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم كن لوليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أمن يجيب المضطر إذا دعا ويكشف السوء. 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 أما يجيب المضطر إذا دعا ويكشف السوء. يا الله يا الله يا الله يا الله اللهم بحق المفطر أجب المفطر ونحن المضطرون يا الله. اللهم شاف كل مريض بحق مريض كربلاء زين العابدين. ورحم الله من قرأ سورة الفاتحة لكل المؤمنين والمؤمنات لا سيما أموات الحاضرين. تصدق الصلاة على محمد وآل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين.
Thank you.